Welcome to YOPE, Your Optimal Personal Economy, the podcast that empowers high performers to think differently around earning, protecting, saving, investing, and growing their wealth. We see wealth, while encompassing money, also including other domains that hold significance, such as health, mindset, fitness, relationships, and diet. In every episode, your host, Justin Bennett, the founder and president of Bennett Financial, will discuss how he has been helping shift conventional paradigms in order to take control of their own personal economy. By taking ownership of your own circumstances instead of following traditional methods, you can truly yield the results that will produce solutions in line with your expectations. Let's get started.
Good day and welcome to another episode of Your Optimal Personal Economy, also referred to as YOPE. This is your host, Justin Bennett. Wanted to talk a little bit about this idea here in the beginning of 2021, which is what we refer to as a calibration conversation. It's a way in which you can think about your year personally and professionally from a calibration perspective. So what I mean by that is we've been spending a fair amount of time talking to existing clients and prospective new clients on the simple question around what's important for you personally and what's important for you professionally that you want to accomplish inside of the next 12 months. So it's taking this conversation and trying to make it tangible and trying to make it actionable, helping our clients just look out no farther than 12 months, because to get visibility beyond 12 months tends to be very, very difficult. There's a lot of unknowns that are outside of that time frame. Of course, there's a lot of unknowns inside of the next 12 months, but I think it becomes a more manageable time period to be able to look at. And some of the things that our clients are saying, like our business owner clients as an example, one of our many business owner clients was telling us earlier that they really want to focus in on tightening up and executing their operating agreement and their business continuity plan. Now, they're years from quote unquote retiring or transitioning the business. We've been, talking about this with the client for a long time. They had identified it as a professional objective that they want to spend time making sure they effectively put together a continuity plan, and they want to make sure that it's something that they address inside of the next 12 months so that they know that once we get to the end of this year and we start to shift into the next year, this very, very big conversation, this very, very big planning objective has been properly designed. That's like one example that a business owner client has shared with us that they want to focus on. And of course, we're going to be able to support them throughout that entire conversation. It's going to be a series of discussions over probably the next 2-3 months, but fairly confident that we're going to be able to get them to the place that they want to be. On the personal side, on the calibration conversation, personally with a lot of clients, we're hearing a lot of people say they want to, it tends to be something that they want to do around time. They want to be good stewards of their time. They want to be able to manage commitments more effectively. So they want to be able to realize that their schedule is very, very important, and they want to allocate time to the things that are important to them. If they're able to look out over the next 12 months, roughly the next 52 weeks, the next 365 days, and they can identify the things that are important to them, and they can start to calendar them, then they're going to start to be able to wake up each morning and see what's on the agenda for that day, because it was more or less scheduled out well in advance. And I understand that we're not going to be able to schedule exactly to the hour what's going to happen on, let's say, July 14th, but you're going to have a pretty good idea during that week what it is you're doing. Maybe you're traveling, maybe you're not, maybe you're on a Wednesday, maybe you're blocking out a period of time where you're just spending time with your family. For those people that happen to be in the middle of the summer and they're wanting to enjoy time around the beach if they happen to live at the beach, or in the mountains if they live in the mountains. But I think, people are looking at this opportunity, and we're helping them trying to identify what it is that's important to them so they can give some really serious thought and consideration around what their next 12 months can look like. Because I think it's so easy to just mindlessly wake up each morning and operate in a way where you're not really giving yourself an opportunity to have direction or to have intention on what's important to you. And then it leads to oftentimes a lot of regret and a lot of disappointment. What people oftentimes do is they're scared to, or they're worrisome to make that commitment to something that's important to them. So they're actually afraid to commit to something that is effectively committing to themselves rather than committing to a third party. In this case, we're talking about making a commitment back to themselves. Our society at large is very concerned and very apprehensive about this word commitment and obligation, because it oftentimes makes it feel like there's like an irrevocable decision that's going to be made, which is the furthest thing from the truth. I think when you start to identify those personal objectives that you want to work on, and it could just be, and we encourage it to be just one thing, because when you try to start to think about 2, 3, 4 things, then it becomes an overwhelming conversation, and it becomes not manageable, not effective, and not productive. We try to keep it uber simple and say, let's think about, and we present it in a question format. So we typically say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Client, let's just think about this personally and think about this professionally. And when we look at over the next 12 months, what's one thing that you want to work on? You don't have to fully accomplish it. You don't have to totally feel like there's closure around it. But what's something that you want to work on and start to move in the direction of as it relates to something personally and as it relates to something professionally? And a lot of times when we present the question, there's a long pause, there's a long thought, and there's consideration given to how to respond to that. And so we want to provide a thought-provoking question that other financial professionals are oftentimes not providing. This, to us, just so our listeners understand, this allows us to get to know our clients a lot better, and we can identify where we can help them. The array of help can be so broad that there's so many areas that we can help them fulfill on these various commitments or obligations or desires or focuses that they want to work on over the next 12 months. I mean, I happen to surround myself with a lot of fitness people, whether it's just in conversation or we're actually participating in a race or a challenge. I think the ability to have accountability with like-minded folks allows for you to figure out what that thing is personally that you want to work on. I mean, we have clients that love fishing, and they spend so much time out on the water, and they not only spend time on the water, but they encourage other people to come out on the water, and they help them learn how to fish. They give them a chance to experience the fishing and to have fun and to be in that place of peace out on the water. You could try new things. It could be that simple as saying, hey, I want to try this thing called fishing that I've never tried before. And it just starts to allow yourself to think through the entire year, but in a very manageable way. Professionally, I just want to comment that we also hear a lot of folks that feel as though they're planning, right? Their long-term planning, which would be well beyond 1 year, is an overwhelming conversation. Because what you're thinking about is, how much money do you think you want to have in 20 or 30 years in the future? And who knows exactly what that number is, right? The answer to that is as much as possible, right? So let's not limit that number at X million. Let's allow it to be as big as it can be, as much as it possibly can, rather than trying to figure out and solve for exactly what that number is. What tends to happen is the simple act of trying to get some structure and a plan around how you can systematically save new money will lead to a behavior that will be contagious and can allow you over the course of time to just manage your cash flow in a way where it's not overwhelming, you're not sacrificing current lifestyle, and you feel good about putting the money away so that when that number becomes X million, Y million, whatever the number is, you start to realize that, hey, maybe I'm working because I want to work and not because I need to work. And that's a point in time that people really need to think about, because you don't have to just all of a sudden cold turkey shift into retirement. But if we can start to help our clients think through 12 months or less, something that they want to accomplish or work on, right? Again, it doesn't have to be that they're going to formally accomplish it. It's something that they could just start to work on personally and professionally. Then they start to feel empowered. They start to feel like they're operating with purpose, and they feel great about what it is that they're doing. And then they start to identify what's important to them. Thinking through what's important to you for all those listeners out there, and whether sharing it with yourself or sharing it with a third party, I think it's highly encouraged. We would love to hear, what some things people are thinking about as a result of listening to this podcast. So nothing would be more satisfying than hearing from our listeners, however many people want to, raise their hand and actually reach out to us and send an email through our website, bennettfg.com. We have a great page there where you can contact us, and it comes to us real time, and we would love to to see what folks are saying, and we'd love to be able to engage in conversation with people that know us or we know them, whether it be a client or not a client. We're agnostic to that. Just think about what it is over the next 12 months that you want to start to give some attention to, and just start with that first step. Thanks for your time here today. Again, this is Justin Bennett on Your Optimal Personal Economy, and we'll talk to you on the next episode.
Thank you for listening to YOPE, Your Optimal Personal Economy. We look forward to sharing more conversations with you and invite you to visit our website, bennettfg.com. That's BENNETTFG.com, where you can listen or subscribe to our library of YOPE podcasts. Follow us on social media, and as always, please feel free to share this episode with anyone in your personal orbit looking to become better informed and take control of their financial landscape.
Justin Bennett, Registered Representative of Park Avenue Securities, LLC, PAS, OSJ Northeast Planning Corporation, 1150 Raritan Road, Suite 201, Cranford, New Jersey, 07016. 908-709-0020. Securities products offered through PAS, member FINRA SIPC. Financial representative of the Guardian Life Insurance Company of America, Guardian, New York, New York. PAS is a wholly owned subsidiary of Guardian. Bennett Financial Group LLC is not an affiliate or subsidiary of PAS or Guardian. California Insurance License Number 0H88104. This podcast is for informational purposes only. Guest speakers and their firms are not affiliated with or endorsed by PAS, Guardian, or Bennett Financial Group LLC, and opinions stated are their own.